Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to go for something a little bit different. Today I'm going to go for the top 10 best Premier League goalkeepers of all time. Now, in my opinion, Premier League is arguably the strongest all-round position in goalkeepers. Even these days, keepers outside the top 6 are most of them are quite good goalkeepers, and there has been some brilliant goalkeepers over the years. In fact, a few of these don't actually feature at the top clubs. They were actually features of mid-table to lesser clubs who stayed in the Premier League many years, and these goalkeepers were there most of them years. So, yeah, I'm going to get into top 10. I'm going to do a couple of honourable mentions, though, before we get going. Then our honourable mentions are Jens Lehmann, Hugo Lloris, Mark Schwarzer, and a little bit controversially Ben Foster, but I do think he's been a really good goalkeeper for West Brom and even now at Watford over the years. So I think there could have been a couple more honourable mentions, but these are the first ones that I'd say sprung to mind overall. So, yeah, I'm going to get on with the top 10 goalkeepers then. And at number 10, I've got UC Jaskalainen now. Jaskalainen was a very good goalkeeper at Bolton. I mean, he was at Bolton for a fair few years, and he was just generally a good shot stopper. If you haven't seen his double save against Manchester United, then do check that one out. It was a brilliant save, and generally, I really rated Jaskalainen growing up. I thought he was a goalkeeper that never really got an awful lot of plaudits as well. He's a very underrated goalkeeper. But yeah, no, terrific goalkeeper and yeah, a mainstay in the Premier League for many years. And of course, he was a part of a solid Bolton Wanderers side as well. So yeah, I'd put him in at number 10. Number 9, I've got David James. Now, David James was a goalkeeper who you wouldn't really trust. He was always capable of making a mistake. But he was still a good goalkeeper, though, James. He was an ever-present in many Premier League clubs. He was at Portsmouth. He played for Liverpool as well. He was a good goalkeeper. I really did enjoy watching David James. As to be fair, he did have the odd mistake in him, but I think overall the good of him outweighed the bad in the end. So, yeah, I'd put David James. He also won an FA Cup with Portsmouth in 2008 as well. So, yeah, I like James. He was a good goalkeeper, and I think he deserves the number 9 spot. Number 8, I've got Brad Friedel. Now, Brad Friedel was a keeper I was always a big fan of at Aston Villa, at Tottenham, at Blackburn. I don't know, I just always rated Brad Friedel. He had that commanding, says a lot when Spurs signed Hugo Lloris originally, and Brad Friedel was still keeping him out of the team for a couple of months. Friedel was just generally a commanding presence and he had quite the intimidating figure about him, really, where you wouldn't really want to get on his bad side. But no, I think Brad Friedel was a great goalkeeper. He also made I can't remember the exact number, but a hell of a lot of appearances in a row at one point of his career as well. He was just very consistent. If you want to find a consistent keeper, Brad Friedel is arguably one of the most consistent Premier League keepers ever, and I think he deservedly makes the list. Number 7, I've put Pepe Reina now. Pepe Reina at Liverpool was a very good goalkeeper. I mean, Liverpool these days do have Alisson Becker, but I don't believe he's been in the Premier League long enough to warrant a place in this list. But Pepe Reina, last season he had at Liverpool, the side was always a good goalkeeper. Again, he did have the odd mistake in him, but he was a terrific shot stopper, and generally Reina distribution as well from Reina was impressive as well. Got a couple of assists in his time at the club, but no, big fan of Pepe Reina. Good with his feet, a proper Spanish goalkeeper. And yeah, he was, he spent many years, about 8 years at Liverpool, I believe it was, and they were very good years, and a solid goalkeeper who, Liverpool, in my opinion, probably Liverpool's best of the Premier League era consistently. Very good keeper. Now, in at number 6, I've got Shay Given. Now, yeah, Shay Given as well, similar to Brad Friedel, just a very consistent goalkeeper all round. Good for Newcastle. He had a decent enough spell at Aston Villa coming towards the end of his career, but his main days were definitely at Newcastle United. Yeah, Given, again, many great saves in his time, and always a fan of Given, just a consistent goalkeeper all round. And he did go downhill towards the end of his career, but no, he was a brilliant. And he also played for Man City for a brief while as well, where he didn't do too badly. But always liked Shay Given, again, very consistent and a good shot stopper. And yeah, generally, I'm always a fan of Given. I think he deserves the number 6 spot here. In at number 5, I've got David De Gea. Of course, David De Gea is still playing at the moment. Yeah, De Gea, you can't really, obviously, from when he first signed to now, is a huge contrast. When De Gea first signed, he looked like he wasn't really cut out for the Premier League. He was quite weak. He was very, just very flimsy on crosses. It just never really looked like he was ever going to make it in the Premier League, but that did happen in the end, and David De Gea has gone on to be a fantastic goalkeeper and really has saved Manchester United many times in the last few years as well. The last year or so he's not been at his best that he was, but what a keeper he's been in the last 4 or 5 years at United. How many points he saved them. Yeah, he is a very good goalkeeper, and he's got a lot better at commanding as well. And yeah, he's overall turned out to be a major success at Man United and proven many people wrong from when he first signed for the club. At number 4, I've got Edwin van der Sar, another Manchester United goalkeeper. Also had good days at Fulham as well, though. Van der Sar was a very good goalkeeper. And he was a big part, really, of Man United's success years. He was the first keeper who really replaced Peter Schmeichel. I mean, United did win trophies after Schmeichel left, but I mean, the likes of Fabian Barthez and Roy Carroll were never really the good replacements for Schmeichel. I think Van der Sar, though, as soon as he came in, he had that commanding presence about him. Good shot stopper as well. And yeah, Van der Sar played many good games in his career. Van der Sar, like, he was a very good keeper at Manchester United. Yeah, and I'd say he deserves a high place in this list, Van der Sar. And he was a keeper who, when, Man United were looking to replace, I think, they have done with De Gea, but it looked like it was going to be a difficult task when he first left, so a very good keeper. Number 3, I've got David Seaman now. David Seaman had many. Again, he's capable of making errors, David Seaman, as we saw at the 2002 World Cup, unfortunately, but Seaman was a very good goalkeeper at Arsenal. I mean, he was a part of a rock-solid Arsenal defence. He had, again, just a commanding presence, really, and he had something about him. He's made one of the best saves ever against Sheffield United. That was in the FA Cup in 2003, a save that still to this day I just can't believe. But Seaman was just an amazing goalkeeper as well, very commanding. Yeah, there's all I can pretty much say about Seaman is great shot stopper, commanding goalkeeper, a joy to have at Arsenal, really. And again, he played in the rock solid defence as well, but a very good goalkeeper down the years. At number 2, we've got Petr Cech now. Petr Cech, a lot of people may put at number 1, but I think he is edged out. But Petr Cech, again, I mean, his golden days were no doubt at Chelsea. I think when Arsenal signed Cech, he was coming to the end of it. They got one good season out of him, but it's been his first one. He was really not the keeper, I think, that Chelsea had. But no, he was brilliant at Chelsea. Fantastic career, and one of arguably Jose Mourinho's best signing, really, at Chelsea at times. The way him and Drogba, the way he just came in his first season he conceded 15 goals. I think the main thing with Cech isn't his shot stopping, it is more his commanding presence that he had. But yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of Cech, and his Chelsea days were one of the best runs a goalkeeper's had at a club, definitely in the Premier League era, just superb. And yeah, I mean, Cech, you're just not really a bad word to say about him, how good he has been down the years, especially for Chelsea. And at number 1, we've got Peter Schmeichel. Now, this was a difficult choice, really, but I think Schmeichel's got to take it in the end. How good he was at Manchester United, and I think the Premier League will find it difficult to ever replace him as a goalkeeper. He did also have a spell at Manchester City as well, which was quite surprising. But yeah, Schmeichel was excellent. I mean, his save against Newcastle United in a crunch game back in the 90s was one of the best saves I've ever seen. And yeah, Schmeichel just had everything you need in a goalkeeper, really. Just shot stopping, commandness, and he had games where he'd single-handedly saved Manchester United. So I'm definitely going to go with Schmeichel as number 1 in this. And yeah, that's my top 10 list for goalkeepers. Difficult list, really. I mean, in goalkeepers, you mainly got to look at consistency, you got to look at shot stopping and the commandingness of the goalkeeper. But yeah, this was a pretty difficult one to choose, to be honest. But I think overall it's a fair list. And yeah, if you'd have anyone else on the list, please let me know, and please like, share, and subscribe. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.